So my name is Cato Thompson. I work in the Office of Student Employment, which is a part of the Career Development Center. Myself, my supervisor, Les Miller, our part-time associate, Sherry Klein, and our student make up our office. And like I was saying, we're a part of the Career Development Center. So let me go ahead and share my screen with our presentation. If I can present. There we are. So I wanted to commend you for starting your process and interest in employment. We acknowledge not only the financial need for looking for a part-time job while you're here as a student, but also the experiences that you'll gain from having a job while on campus. There are a lot of opportunities for connections while you're here at App, and we have a lot of faculty and staff that are well connected across campus. So while you're working a part-time job specifically on campus, you'll run into opportunities where maybe you'll be speaking with a supervisor and they'll be able to quickly refer you to other services here at App because of the nature of you speaking with them in a professional setting, working with them every single day. They can offer a lot of assistance to help you get connected to other areas of campus. There's a lot of practical skills and experience you'll gain through part-time employment that will be applicable to the future and that you can incorporate on your resume. So it'll help you progress throughout your academic career here at App to make you a more well-rounded candidate for full-time opportunities as you're getting ready to graduate or even graduate school. And so talking a little bit about on-campus employment specifically, we have a little over 3,000 student employees each year on campus and approximately 4,000 job opportunities. So the reason why those numbers are different is while you're here at App, you may find more than one part-time job opportunity will present itself to you, and you could potentially work in more than one department at a time. However, when you are first coming here to App this fall, we realized that there may be a difference in academic rigor here in a university setting. So while you're first looking for a part-time job, we recommend while you're applying to jobs, even though our on-campus supervisors will traditionally first schedule you to 10 to 12 hours a week, regardless of where you're working, try to schedule yourself around that amount. Students on campus do work an average to 10 to 20 hours a week. I highly discourage you from working more than 20, 25 hours a week range. That's when we see it start to really impede on your academic performance. So while you're looking at part-time jobs, whether it be on campus or off, try to aim somewhere around 10 to 12. You know what your financial needs may be, but those are some recommendations we can offer. With on-campus employment, some of the positions may start at $7.25 an hour. That may be dependent on departmental funding or faculty research funding that's available. However, our positions on campus average around $8.50 an hour. And you will be one of our new student employees on campus. So with that, you will come into the Office of Student Employment so we can do your onboarding, and I will touch on that towards the end. So when you're first getting started, and you may have already heard about Handshake, if not, this is kind of your introduction. Handshake is our career services platform here at App, and on-campus supervisors and off-campus supervisors will be connected to Appalachian State and our students through Handshake. They will create an account, post their job opportunities, and recruit students for positions. So when you first log in, you'll be able to access it through our Career Development Center or our Student Employment website. If you already have your App State email and you've created your password, you should be able to get into Handshake. Again, email us if for some reason you're having difficulty logging in, and you'll be able to complete your profile and upload a resume. I'll share with you again some resources a little bit later on having assistance with your resume to help you out. All of the on-campus jobs are going to require at least a resume to apply. And because we're starting this process early, you are in a great position to utilize some of our Career Development Center resources with developing a resume and getting connected with us before our on-campus supervisors start posting their jobs. And as you progress throughout your academic career here at App, not only will you see the on-campus jobs and the off-campus part-time jobs, you'll also see internships and full-time job opportunities that you can see and apply to. Our employer relations team helps vet all the off-campus employers and their job postings that come through. I myself work with our on-campus supervisors in posting their jobs on Handshake, helping them develop their job descriptions and posting them so that you'll see them. On-campus supervisors don't traditionally start posting their fall opportunities until about mid-May, and you will see throughout the summer more opportunities on there. There's additional features on Handshake as well too, where you can meet with some of our career coaches to schedule appointments. You can get assistance with helping declare a major. Our career exploration team will help with that. If you are interested in a particular major, but not sure what careers that major will take you towards, or if you're interested in accompanying your major with a minor, our career exploration team will help with that, so you can schedule appointments with them. We are offering virtual meetings and appointments right now through our office, and we also host the career fairs, and we're starting to explore virtual career fairs as well too for the future. And traditionally in the fall, we offer a part-time job fair the first week of September. That does not mean you have to start this process in September. You can start it now. And like I was saying, a lot of our on-campus supervisors start posting their opportunities on Handshake mid-May. And on our student employment website, you can access, I don't know. There we go. Sorry. I was trying to move that a little bit. You can access through our student employment website Handshake on our homepage, as well as some additional resources. And you can create filters if you were wanting to look at off-campus employment opportunities. There are filters that you can use to search the greater Boone community off-campus jobs as well too. Some information about federal WorkStudy, which I'll get into, along with our Odd Jobs Google group that you can subscribe to. I did want to touch on our largest on-campus employers, just a few of them to note. Student engagement and leadership, there are folks that oversee the student union. They have a lot of opportunities for students to work as event staff, helping with reception areas within the student union. They're also in charge of our leadership programs on campus, so they do hire students in a part-time capacity to help out with various areas and programming as well. So student engagement, leadership. App State Campus Dining is our largest on-campus employer, and they're extremely competitive. If you have any prior work experience, you can start out at least $770, if you have no prior work experience, they start out at $775. If you have some prior work experience in customer service, they start out at $8 an hour for you. And every semester you stay on with their department, they will bump up your hourly rate by a quarter. And there are other opportunities for upward mobility to be a shift leader or a student manager. And those areas in catering are $9 to $10 an hour as well too. So campus dining has a lot to offer. Holmes Convocation Center is our event building where graduation, commencement is held, a lot of concerts, big events, basketball games are hosted in Holmes Convocation Center, and they hire a lot of students that are trained and then work event-based. So maybe if you're not ready to commit to a weekly part-time schedule in addition to your full-time class schedule, the Holmes Convocation Center is a really great place where you can be trained and then sign up for shifts to work as an event occurs. So Holmes Convocation Center, I wanted to highlight that. The Appalachian Fund Call Center works with our alumni to offer funding to Appalachian State. That's a really great collaborative team to be a part of. And I wanted to highlight as well too, if you enjoy working with children, we have 2 child care facilities of children that are say faculty, staff, or children of students here at App may be enrolled. You can contact them for job opportunities. There are some. Do know that their onboarding is a little bit more extensive because it requires a background check and a fingerprinting process. So if you are interested in them, know that it may take a little bit longer for that onboarding when you arrive here in the fall to first get started and be trained. But that is a really great and valuable place to work. Again, a lot of our on-campus jobs won't be posted until about mid-May and appear throughout the summer, so you're aware. And these large on-campus employers are listed on our student employment website, so you don't have to worry about writing all these down now. We have them under Find a Job, largest on-campus employer details. Now, the Federal WorkStudy Program, this is an opportunity for students that exhibit financial need. The federal government gave additional funding to Appalachian State to create these job opportunities, and we partner with our smaller employers and our departments on campus that may lack a lot of funding. So what we do, and I specifically work with these small departments to create these job descriptions. They're on-campus jobs just as any other, and we post them through Handshake. But when those students receive that WorkStudy award as a part of their financial aid package, they earn that award in the form of wages as they report to work in their job location. So it is a job just like any other job on campus. That funding source is different and it's tied to your financial aid package. Do know though that when you receive those wages, it is direct deposited to you just as any other on-campus job. It is not applied to your outstanding tuition or fees up front. It can be used for financial and academic expenses, but it is deposited to your bank account directly. And they are traditionally $2,000 awards, and you would earn those in the form of wages as you report to your position on campus. They are posted on Handshake, and I was going to highlight as well, when you are on Handshake this summer and you're looking at jobs, it may appear misleading that there are a lot of WorkStudy jobs. These only make up about 10% of jobs on campus versus our large employers here. They make up a vast portion of the opportunities on campus. So these employers may post one posting on Handshake to hire, say, 20 students versus a small department like our own, the Career Development Center, or even the Office of Transfer Services that partners with us to post part-time job opportunities through the WorkStudy program. They will have one posting to maybe hire one or two students. So it may appear that there's a lot more WorkStudy positions on campus. That is not the case. It only makes up about 10% of jobs here at App. There will also be opportunities as you start to network with faculty and staff as you progress here at App that they may hire you through a grant while they're doing research. These are jobs that we very rarely see posted because they're networking based and faculty member will offer them to the student. So don't be discouraged. Still look for a part-time job in the meantime. And then as you progress here at App, those connections may be presented to you. Networking is going to be extremely important for those positions within academic affairs and research with faculty members. For all of our jobs here on campus, when we partner with our supervisors, we want to ensure that they're helping create job skills or competencies for your future that you can attribute and add to your resume, along with helping you become a more well-rounded professional for the future. So your one part-time job opportunity may not provide you with all of these skills or competencies, but if you are gaining certain oral and written communication or career management and professionalism through your connections on campus in, say, volunteering or clubs and organizations, you can be figuring out ways on how to gain the rest of these competencies and highlight them on your resume. The National Association of Colleges Employers got together and thought of these lists of career competencies, skills that we really want to see students developing throughout their academic career so that they're prepared for their careers past Appalachian. Just wanting to check on the time, about 14 more minutes. Also, on our student employment website, we have our Odd Jobs Google group. When you click this, you will be able to subscribe to the group and receive emails of one-time pay opportunities that our office helps filter. We have community members here in the High Country. They can be retired faculty and staff. They could be families with children. They may be our Floridians that come up in the summer and have a summer home, and they may want to hire a student for a quick job, maybe yard work or moving or babysitting, dog walking or cat walking. A lot of different opportunities come through on the Odd Jobs group. Our office helps vet those requests as they come through, and as we approve them, you would receive them in an email if you choose to subscribe to the Odd Job Google group. Now, we recommend that when you're applying to these that you meet these folks in a public space, say before you report to a private residence for work. We also recommend, even though the folks may request references or a resume, be cautious in providing sensitive information. It may seem kind of silly that I'm discussing it. However, you know, on your resume, I think it's relevant to have your name, your phone number, your email address, but be cautious with things like your date of birth, your physical address, and definitely not your social security number. Those are types of things that are not relevant on a resume or to be able to share with somebody for a one-time pay opportunity. This is just a way that we wanted to ensure students could connect to the community and the community can receive support from students when they need it. And it has been a big benefit to our students and our folks here in the High Country. We do not represent the employer, nor do we represent you as the student. However, we wanted to ensure a way that you can get connected. It would be very similar, say, if you saw a posting for a part-time pay opportunity on Facebook or Craigslist. It's a means of just circulating these opportunities to you so that you can receive them. Now, when you're looking for employment in the greater Boone community, you can utilize Handshake with creating filters to search Boone, North Carolina, and creating a radius in the larger area. Maybe say you have an apartment in Blowing Rock. Maybe you want to base the search in Blowing Rock or Fosco and then go from there. You're gonna wanna consider with off-campus employment the transportation method that you will need to have in order to look for jobs off campus. You can submit your application online, and not all of them will be posted on Handshake. Some employers in the area might utilize different services in order to post their opportunities. You know, you could leverage App State Classifieds. You can look at online newspaper classifieds in the High Country. Watauga Democrat is a really good resource. I know the Transfer Services Facebook page is extremely active. I'm a part of it, and I see that a lot of you all will share posts. Maybe you can get connected with current students or transfer mentors that already have a job off campus, and they can refer you to an off-campus employer as well too. Boone has a plethora of opportunities within hospitality and tourism. We have a lot of grocery stores, a lot of local restaurants and retail. And those will be some employers that can be accessible to you even within walking distance of app. But do consider, as you're looking in the greater Boone community or outside of Boone, what your means for transportation will be. The Apple Cart is a reliable source in the Boone community. However, consider that off-campus employers may have different procedures or protocols to reporting to work during inclement weather, and that may be something that you want to consider. For professionalism, we definitely encourage you to follow up with applications via email, phone call, or when we go back to an appropriate procedure, maybe going into a personal visit and meeting with them for the job opportunity. Now, Things I wanted to remind you of, extremely important for on-campus and off-campus employment. When you are first hired, you will need to present acceptable documents for employment verification. It's important that when you pack these with you to come to app, that you pack the originals. We cannot accept a scanned copy. A lot of our students, that the document that they will bring for employment verification will be a valid passport or passport card. Or say if they're a permanent resident, they may present their permanent resident card. If you don't have an item from list A, that's all right. You can utilize a document from list B that establishes identity with a document from list C that establishes employment authorization. So all of you will have your school ID, your app card by that time, which is a state government issued ID that you could use for identity purposes. I know many of you may have a state driver's license or state ID card. A lot of our students use that for identity, but it does not necessarily complete your employment authorization. That's why we would need to be presented in conjunction with it. Things like your social security card or a certified copy or the original of your US birth certificate. Again, these documents must be the original. We cannot accept a scanned copy of these documents. But the nice thing about when you get a job on campus and you're one of our new hires processed in our office, you only have to complete this process once of presenting it to our office. And then for any future employment on campus, or say if you come back and go to graduate school here at Appalachian, you won't have to constantly present these documents back to us. We'll already have your employment verification and I-9 on file, and you could take those back home. There may be different procedures with off-campus employers, and many of them are also subject to employment verification. So keep these handy, keep them in a safe place when you come, and so you'll have them accessible when you do acquire a part-time job. You can present these in a timely manner and start work and training in a timely manner. Some additional tips I wanted to share with you all from the Career Development Center. We offer these resources and we're still offering them right now, even though our staff might not physically be in the office. We have resources that you can meet with our career studio team. These are our career guides, students, your peers who are trained to help review resumes. They can meet with you virtually in our career studio and have a Zoom meeting with you to review your resume, or you can simply email it to them to have reviewed. And that will be a great starting and launching point for when you start applying for the jobs this summer, that you've already had your resume reviewed. You can also join some of our virtual career, our virtual career meetups that we're doing. We're offering a lot of great professional skills from our career coaches, and you can join in on those now. We have these listed on our careers.appstate.edu website. Every fall and spring semester, we host resume clinics, and we offer opportunities for you to come and get a cup of coffee and have your resume reviewed in the student union. And we can help you with developing your Handshake account, helping you out with your LinkedIn account. Like I was saying prior, we host the career fairs on campus where off-campus employers will come and want to recruit our students for part-time jobs, internships, and full-time jobs as you're getting ready to graduate. And we also have this system called Big Interview, which is a great resource where you can practice interviewing online. It records yourself, and then you could go back and play your responses so you can help develop and strengthen your interviewing skills. This is all offered on our careers.appstate.edu website. And I wanted to list our contact information. My supervisor, Les Miller, and myself, Cato Thompson, were both accessible via email. I also shared in our chat area the careers.appstate, or the student employment at appstate.edu email address. So if you have any questions that I'm not able to get to today, feel free to email us. Myself, Les, Sherry will try as quickly as possible to respond back to you with your questions. So I wanted to go back to our Zoom, and I only have about 5 more minutes, but if anyone has any questions, Kim, tell me if this is an appropriate time.
That's perfect. I haven't seen any questions come over the chat, but does anyone have any questions for Cato about employment?
You could just type your name in the chat and we can unmute you.
How many of you have jobs lined up already? Okay, I'm seeing a couple hands go up. So
Nice.
like a few people are getting that step in.
And don't feel discouraged if you haven't landed a job yet. Like I was saying, this process, it usually starts mid-May anyways. I'm actually getting a lot of emails from our supervisors because they're not currently hiring and they weren't hiring for the rest of spring semester, already revamping, reviewing their job descriptions to get them ready and posted on Handshake. So we are definitely looking forward to the fall and how we can strengthen as a community and as a campus.
All right, we got a question. Haley's asking if she wanted to work in a chemistry lab at AP, would that job offer be found on Handshake?
Now, I have seen the chemistry stock room has previously utilized Handshake to post a job opportunity. I do have to say within the chemistry and fermentation science department, they have a lot of job opportunities, but they're very rarely posted. Those are going to be, like I was saying, networking based. You're going to want to make sure that you connect with faculty early on, and as those opportunities present themselves, they will make them available to you. And that's why you should go ahead and start seeking alternative part-time employment, because you'll already be set up as a student employee, will already have your employment verification and I-9 on file. So it will be very easy for you to either switch positions or tack on that additional one. So it may not be an immediate opportunity presented to you within the chemistry department, but there could be future opportunities. They are actually one of our largest academic departments that employs students. Physics and astronomy are really, really large departments that offer a lot of positions, but very rarely do I see them posted. And they may require certain GPAs for their positions that they'll offer to you.
A lot of times when schools ask for a certain GPA, they'll look at the transfer GPA. For example, if you want a tutoring on the writing center, often they will look at your work at a previous institution as well. So it does not necessarily mean you have to sit on the sidelines until you have until you have a GPA. All right, we have, I don't know, IZIKM has a question.
Yes.
How I would pronounce that.
My name's Isaac.
Isaac, okay.
Yes.
Hi there.
Hey, my question is, if we do get an on-campus job, is there a limit to the hours we can work a week?
We do not have a university policy prohibiting a certain amount of hours a week. Many of our departments, they will not schedule you more than 20 hours because we know that that is going to start impeding on that. In addition, in the summertime, you may not be taking classes, but available to work a part-time job, and you may work in more than one department. We don't want to see you during the summertime exceed 40 hours a week, even if you're not enrolled, but you're pre-registered for the fall, because those two departments, their combined hours are going to be what's on your paycheck, and neither of them can be subject to overtime. So although we don't have a university policy prohibiting you from working a certain amount, we do realize some of our students are part-time. Their schedules may be more flexible, but we don't have that instated, knowing that everybody's situation may be unique and different. That just keep that in mind. But summertime is usually, now when you're coming in this fall, you won't be able to start your on-campus job until the first day of classes, because that will match your enrollment and your ability to be categorized as a student employee. But come next summer, because you'll have been enrolled in the spring and pre-registered for the fall, even if you're not taking classes during the summer, you can work an on-campus job as a student employee and have some flexibility, to be able to work more hours than normal.
Gotcha.
So that was my timer, I suppose. Em?
I love it, Cato. Any other questions for her? We do, again, we wrapped in about 15-minute buffer between each session. So we can take one or two more questions if we
I have
have.
one more question as well, if I don't want to be greedy.
No, you're good.
What's the requirement to become a tutor, like a paid tutor?
I do not have those in front of me. The Student Learning Center is our department that oversees tutoring. I believe they are listed on our largest on-campus employers. But if you just search Student Learning Center, App State, those details should come up on their website, or you should be able to email them. I would definitely suggest having a copy of your transcripts from your previous institution to be ready to present to them, along with your fall availability, so that I know you all will be registering for classes soon, so that when you are inquiring about employment, they will know what availability you have and what you're qualified to teach as a tutor this fall semester.
Gotcha.
I see a question from Morgan. Can you still apply to be a student employee if you did not get offered a WorkStudy? Yes, you can. Like I was saying earlier, WorkStudy positions only make up about 10% of jobs on campus. And traditionally, that's with our departments that lack their own funding source. It's only a small percentage of jobs on campus. A lot of our large on-campus employers, they have their own departmental funding. Our academic departments, they have a lot of research funding that comes in. So WorkStudy only makes up a small percentage of on-campus jobs. If you are interested to see if you are eligible, you can check mark on your FAFSA application that you are interested in WorkStudy. If you didn't do that on your FAFSA, that's okay. If you contact the Office of Financial Aid, they can let you know your eligibility and your room in your financial aid package to see if you can be given a WorkStudy award and given access in Handshake to apply to the WorkStudy positions. So, but no, you don't have to be WorkStudy to get a student employment job. That may be different at other institutions or where you're coming from, but App has a plethora of opportunities outside of WorkStudy.
Great. Any other questions?
You're welcome, Morgan.
All right. Well, Cato, we thank you. Before we sign off here, I did want to let you know that Nikki is emailing you all your advising times now. So you should see that showing up in your inbox in a little bit. Again, we have about 10 minutes before we start the next session. That one's going to be on involvement and some summer extended orientation programs that you can get involved in. So again, as I said in the opening session, being involved on campus is really critical to making sure that you're happy and successful at App. So definitely a session to sign into. So thank you, Cato. We appreciate your time. And we will see you guys on the next Zoom link. Again, you'll have a different Zoom link for everyone in about 10 minutes.
Thank you all. I look forward to meeting you this fall. I'm Cato, only Cato at App. So if you need anything, come and see me.